This year, I accomplished a lot. I traveled all over the country. I graduated college with 2 degrees. I got into a top law school and moved across the country on my own to start school. I made a lot of new friends and had a ton of fun, new experiences. And on top of all of that, I started this channel. A lot of what I did is thanks to this. This is a simple weekly/monthly planner, but what it is isn't what's important. It's what's inside that really matters. Here, let me show you. Every page signifies a week. On the left is the days, and here's where you keep your basic schedule. On the right, though, is where things get really interesting. Here is where the key to my success lies: the to-do list. You see, I really enjoy using to-do lists. I even have a daily one right here. These to-do lists are a big part of why I was able to make this past year so successful. There are a couple of reasons behind that, but the main one is time. I don't just make one to-do list. I make multiple to-do lists for multiple different time frames. I used a page at the beginning of my planner for my yearly to-do list. Also at the beginning of the planner are pages for each month, which I used for monthly to-do lists. These lists are more like a list of goals than of things that I have to do. For example, one of the things on my to-do list in January was to read 1 book minimum. This wasn't something that I had to do, but phrasing it as a to-do made me more likely to accomplish it. I also used these long-term to-do lists for important things that had to be done, just not right away. The weekly to-do lists were for small pieces of those larger goals and really helped me break them down into manageable chunks. Using the reading example, a smaller goal might be to read a couple of chapters. And this gets broken down even further when I get to my daily to-do lists. Breaking down my bigger goals into smaller pieces was a big part of why I was able to accomplish way more than I ever thought possible this past year. I mean, my goal for the year was to only record 3 videos, and here I am well over 100. Now, some of you may have noticed that some of the items on my to-do list have check marks, and some of the items have X's. This is the other reason why this journal was so helpful in making the past year so great. Journaling. You see, the right-hand side of each page had more than just the to-do list. It also had some very useful tools. First up is the notes section. This is where I reflected on what I was supposed to do that week, what I actually did that week, and how I did it. It was a great way to keep myself on track and see how I differed from my ideal self. Next up is the reminder section. Here's where I take what I learned from the previous week and apply it to my overall goals. Last was the goal of the week. Here is where I would set myself a specific goal that would keep me on track of my overarching goals for the year. It's okay to fail and not hit your goal or not hit it as soon as you'd like, just as long as you know why you didn't reach that goal. And being able to look back and reflect on what happened and what went wrong is a big part of why I was able to keep myself from letting those bad weeks snowball. It was really helpful to be able to look back and see when I was doing well and when I wasn't doing so well, and see when I was getting a lot done and when I wasn't doing very much at all, and see what I was thinking at the time and what lessons I could take from that. So the reflection part was just as important as setting the goals and breaking them down into bite-sized, manageable chunks. And now it's time to take what I learned and apply it to a new planner so we can make this upcoming year even better.